We are not far from the release of Mortal Kombat 1. I know, I still think the name's a little bit weird, but it is dropping September 19th, so we are getting close. And as someone that's a pretty big Mortal Kombat fan, I really don't know how to feel about this game. I am conflicted in every way. On one hand, I am kind of excited to have a new Mortal Kombat game coming out so soon. Fighting games are something, while I've never been like an incredible Evo level player of these types of things, I've always enjoyed playing fighting games, Mortal Kombat being my favorite of that genre. Some of my favorite gaming memories are just staying at my friend's place, staying up all night playing Mortal Kombat round after round after round. There's just something about fighting games that really suck me in. Like, I know I mostly stream FPS games and sometimes like JRPG games, but there's just something about a fighting game that I find myself getting addicted to when I'm really sucked into it. Even Mortal Kombat 11, which honestly wasn't really the best. It had some pretty cool things. A lot of the designs kind of sucked, but I didn't mind the fighting in it. All in all, I don't think that was a great Mortal Kombat game. And now here we are with Mortal Kombat 1 just around the corner, which is technically a sequel while also a reboot, kind of like Mortal Kombat 9, which I actually did enjoy. So close to the launch of this game, I find myself being very conflicted. Overall, from what I've seen of the early access beta gameplay, it looks like it's slow while also kind of feeling like I'm moving fast but fighting slow at the same time. I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense. However, with the cameo system being implemented, I do believe that can potentially create a lot of really cool customizable combinations that you can come up with, you know, bouncing from character A to character B and doing all these types of crazy combos. That, I feel, is where the variety of this game is really gonna shine. However, another important aspect of Mortal Kombat which cannot be denied is the lore. The lore is incredibly important to Mortal Kombat. While I can agree it hasn't always been told in the best way, there is a story there. And for the most part, it's relatively coherent. Once you start getting into the reboot timelines, it can get a little bit complicated. And now here we are, following the events of Mortal Kombat 11 with another rebooted timeline, with the Fire God Liu Kang reshaping everything. And some of the decisions that this Fire God has made seem to bother me quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to go over all the changes that are happening with this game. However, one that really stood out to me right from the jump was taking away the rivalry between Scorpion and Sub-Zero and making them brothers. While it is possible they could end up having some sort of falling out, in fact, I would argue it's probably more than likely, and they will end up reverting back to their classic rival setting, which we are all familiar with. It just feels a bit to me, at least right now. Of course, Raiden no longer has god powers, so we're going to have to see how that plays out. But some of the more positive things that are really standing out to me is the fact that it looks like we're getting all the ninjas together in one roster without DLC. That is a win within itself. In fact, that's a big win within itself. That is cool as fuck. And then there's the Takatan race, which no longer exists. In fact, is kind of, from my understanding of it, is just sort of going to be like a disease now. So effectively, Fire God Liu Kang wiped out a whole race. Keep that in mind. There's a rumor going around at the moment that Shao Kahn is going to be a general, and that seems to have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I can totally see why. However, that's a change that I'm kind of prepared to see what they can do with that. If we can get a General Khan that's just on an absolute rampage, working his way up through war after war, that could be cool. However, that's yet to be seen. The whole Mileena and Katana stuff, with Mileena being the Empress of Outworld, who knows what's up with Sindel? They can't possibly fuck up Sindel any more than they did with Mortal Kombat 11. Seriously, that is one of the worst retcons in gaming history. And then fast forward to today, we have the San Diego Comic-Con stuff going on at the moment, and we did get some new Mortal Kombat news. The first thing I want to talk about is some of the new characters that we saw. I do not like this character design whatsoever, and no, I'm not just talking about the blatant desexualization that's going on here. And it's so obvious, it's not even attempting to be hidden. It is a blatant ESG move. I don't think this design actually looks that good. I think it looks backwards in every way. Seriously, compare these two and you tell me which one you think is better. And then Li Mei was also shown off, which is a fan favorite character, and a lot of people are happy she's making a return. And for the most part, I was relatively happy with what I saw. I would like to have seen a bit more of her. I understand they don't want to show too much. And then, of course, they showed Baraka, which leads into the whole Tarkatan being a disease thing. I don't know how that's all going to play out. I just keep thinking of how that effectively means that Fire God Liu Kang wiped them all out. And then they showed off the combat pack. Now, here's my stance on combat packs. I love the idea of more characters getting added to the game as we're playing them, keep things fresh, and I don't have a problem fundamentally of there being guest characters. However, when there's 6 characters in a combat pack and 3 of them are guest characters, that's too much. I think it should be 2 tops, and even that's pushing it. Obviously, that's just my opinion. You let me know how you're feeling about it. But what have we got here? We got Takeda. Cool, whatever. I'm glad they're bringing back one of the combat kids. There he is. I really did not like that James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, and I didn't even watch his show, and this is clearly taken right from that. I don't really have an opinion on this one. I think they could have picked a much better guest character. One that I've wanted for quite some time is Lady Death. Why has she not made it into Mortal Kombat yet? And then we have Omni-Man and Homelander. Now these two, this whole thing leaked a while ago. Now, with Omni-Man and Homelander, the big discussion here is, are these characters going to play too similar? In my opinion, I feel like Omni-Man is going to be far less zone-based than Homelander. And of the 2 characters, if I could only pick one to be in this game, it would be Omni-Man. Now, we do know the reason why they're both in this game together. It's so we can do the matchup. Omni-Man versus Homelander, by the way. In a real fight, Omni-Man would body him. However, now we can do the matchup. Kind of like how in Mortal Kombat X, we could do Alien vs Predator, and then in Mortal Kombat 11, we could do Terminator vs Robocop. It's just to do the matchup. Ermac, I want to see him get bandaged back up. Can we bandage this man back up? I'm not digging the look of him, but I'm very happy to have Ermac back in. Quan Chi just looks like Quan Chi. You know, I wonder if he's going to have his rip the leg off and beat you to death with it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It just never ends fatality. And that's the next thing I want to talk about. The fatalities look great. Now, while I personally think that this trend of making the fatalities just go for longer and longer is kind of ridiculous. There was fatalities in Mortal Kombat 11 that were just absolutely blood-soaked, awesome gore to see, but it just went a little bit too long. And I feel with Mortal Kombat 11, they're going to one-up on that one again. As you can tell, with everything that I've just said, I'm very 50-50 on this game. I really don't know how I should be interpreting everything that's going on at the moment. I really want to like it. However, the bad things, at least in my opinion, the bad things that are standing out seem really bad, while some of the cool stuff seems incredibly cool. I don't know if I'm going to end up with this game. If I had to bet, there's probably a good chance that I will, just because I have so much fun playing these games. But considering how close we are to the launch of this game, I think there's a lot of people like me that are pretty on the fence. Maybe we should just sit back and see what the early reviews are for this game. Maybe we should take a leap of faith and give it a chance. You can always return it if you don't like it. That's always another option. We're just going to have to see how this one plays out. But as of right now, I do not know if I am liking or hating what I am seeing with Mortal Kombat 1. You tell me how you're feeling about it, because, man, I just don't know how I should be feeling about this game.